Welcome to today's video on the DMCA. I'm Rick Chapo with DMCAagentservice.com. Today we're looking at a rather fundamental aspect of the DMCA, specifically what is a DMCA takedown request. These are also called DMCA takedown notices. Regardless, they are part of the compliance process related to the DMCA, and to understand what the compliance process is, we need to step back a bit. So Section 512 of the DMCA contains a provision known as a safe harbor provision, and it provides immunity to websites and internet-connected apps in a particular situation. That situation is when a user has uploaded content that a copyright owner is contending infringes on their copyright. So, for example, I create a YouTube video and I upload a Rolling Stone song in the background. When I upload that video to YouTube, I've committed copyright infringement. I don't really have a fair use defense for using that song. I just did it out of, my appreciation of the music or something of that sort. So, but the question is YouTube liable for copyright infringement because I've done this? And the answer under the DMCA is no. If, and this is a big one, if YouTube follows a particular compliance process. The DMCA takedown request is part of that process. And the DMCA takedown request is essentially just the complaint. It's a complaint about the copyright infringement. And so once it's submitted, you would fill this out. You would submit it to the website in question, or perhaps their host, or if you want to take it out of the search engines, you would submit it to Google, Bing, and Yahoo. It just kind of depends on what your goals are. So what actually makes up the DMCA takedown request? There's 6 bullet points that you have to hit. They're not particularly difficult. So the first one is to identify the original work. So in this case, you're going to create a short little narrative describing what the original work is. This is a photo on my blog. The photo is of a burrito on a white plate. And here's a link. You want to include the link so that the agent for the company in question can find it and see what it is you're talking about. Second bullet point is you want to identify the location of the infringing work. So you're going to include a link to the infringing work and explain why it's infringing. My burrito photo is, on livejournal.com, and I never authorized somebody to upload it to livejournal.com. And here's a link where you can see it. And then the agent will look at both the original work and the link to the infringing work and be able to see that, yes, you're telling the truth, and that there's an obvious issue of copyright infringement. Third bullet point is your contact information, your name, your phone number, your email address. We occasionally get calls from people that are asking if they can go through the DMCA compliance process and remain anonymous. And the answer is usually no. And this would be one of the reasons, because you do have to list contact information. And as we'll discuss later, you verify that your complaint is being made and is accurate under penalty of perjury. So there are legal ramifications if you lie. The fourth bullet point is the work is being used without authorization. So this is a statement you need to make, detailing that, in fact, the work in question, nobody's given permission. It's not been issued by a site that you've licensed the work to or something of that sort. So something that can sometimes happen is photographers will upload photos to a stock image site. And then when the photos are licensed for a fee, the stock image site and the photographer split the fee. All this is automated, of course, and the photographer doesn't see it, see any side of it other than the number of sales and how much money they're making. But then they may go out one day and be, on a forum or somewhere and see their photo being used, not realized it was licensed by from the stock photo site, and submit a complaint, which would obviously be a mistake. So you need to be a little careful there. And then the fifth bullet point, under penalty of perjury, which has significant legal ramifications, you need to state that the complaint is accurate and that you are the owner of the copyrighted work or authorized to act on their behalf. And so as far as authorized to act on their behalf, typically this would be something like an attorney, somebody that actually represents the individual in question. Or if that's your task for your employer, then certainly that would fall into that category. And then the final bullet point is you need to simply sign the document, and you can, or sign the message, and you can do that by simply typing out your name or saying, I hereby sign this document. The signature requirement is kind of strange, but remember the law was enacted in 1998 when most congressmen didn't have email or couldn't figure out how to, work their own DVR. So there you are with that. So where does the takedown request go? It goes to the DMCA agent for the site or the host in question. It just depends on where you're trying to get the content taken down. So if somebody posted some of your content to Twitter, you would look up the Twitter DMCA agent and submit it to that person. If it's a website and you suspect that the website itself is the group who took the content without permission, then you'd want to look up their host. You would go to GoDaddy or one of the domain registrars and look through the Whois directory to see if you can identify their host. And then you would go to the host and submit to them. And then the host will, contact their client and say, hey, you're getting a copyright complaint. You need to act. So those are generally the best approaches. But when in doubt, you can always talk to a lawyer to find out, a particular strategy for what you're dealing with. So what is a DMCA takedown request? In essence, it's the copyright complaint that you're going to submit under the DMCA to try to get your content that's being used without authorization taken down. It's pretty much as simple as that. If you have questions or comments, feel free to contact us at dmcaagentservice.com. Just use the contact page and we'll get back to you. That's it for today's video. If you get the urge, feel free to subscribe to our channel. We'll be posting DMCA and copyright videos frequently, and hopefully they'll be helpful. But that's it for today. Thanks.